So this video is going to be quite, how do I say it, personal. It's going to be very different from a lot of the videos. And even though I do have kind of like a script, notes on what to say, I my hair looks kind of crazy. But anyways, it will be mostly kind of me reflecting and saying whatever is really on my mind. So this video will be on how to take a break. Why? Because currently it has been a week into my break, and from my experience, it has just been quite horrible. It's not horrible because anything bad has happened to me, but more of like horrible because when I reflect after a month of not reflecting upon my life, I realize I haven't done anything significant ever since the break has started. I realized that when life gets comfortable, when there's no work to be done, people can take the life that they have for granted, including me, of course. We can feel like our lives are long and we don't really need to worry about anything anymore. We can sit in our couch, we can lay down, we can do anything we really want for the next month. And it almost feels like a struggle in my experience because personally I'm someone who likes to work. I don't want to say it, but like that's a realization that I have. I'm someone who needs to have a task at hand in order for me to function and work. So when the break started, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to say it like this because it's kind of weird, but like I kind of felt lost because there wasn't anything that I had to run down through my agenda. There wasn't a test the next week. There wasn't anything I could study for, really. And I'm someone who studies almost every day, so it was kind of like a weird shift. So I was confused on what to do. And yes, I did things that you could deem as productive during a break, such as I gymmed, I run, I saw some friends, I hung out with family, I did a little bit of organization work, and I slept well most of the time. But if you look at that, that's only a small portion. And as a matter of fact, you can fit that all into like 2 days. Whereas I stretched it upon like 1 week. We have 24 hours in a day. I have 24 hours in a day. And doing these things are kind of what I see as the barest of minimum. So what the hell do I spend most of my days doing? Well, I'll tell you for one. I'll I'll tell you, even though this is kind of embarrassing, but I use my phone like a lot. Like a lot, to the point where it's almost embarrassing for me to tell you. So, and I also play video games in my iPad quite chronically. I'll tell you how bad it is. So, in the 17th of June, which is a couple of days, was probably my worst day yet. I spent 12 hours on my phone alone. That's without my laptop. That's without my iPad. So I spent 5 hours and 30 minutes alone on TikTok. And I spent 1 hour in Instagram. So that's 6 hours. And do I remember anything? No. What did I spend my time doing yesterday? So I spent 8 hours on my phone, 3 hours on TikTok, and almost 2 hours on Instagram. And when I think about it, do I remember anything? No, I wasn't even texting people. I was just scrolling. So it's these things that kind of eat up my day. I could literally run a half marathon. Oh, no, not even a half marathon. I could probably run a marathon in the time I used in social media I scrolled yesterday, which is kind of insane when you think about it. So that's the reason why I'm making this video. It's kind of like it's kind of private in a way where it's me evaluating what I should do towards my break. So if anyone's really watching this video, I'm quite amazed, and I hope you do reflect upon your own how much time you spend a day doing things that are not essential. So how do I take this break? Because it's going to go on for 2 months, and just looking at my phone, it is just not going to be sustainable. I want to live a life that's meaningful, that makes me proud, that I can look back on and be happy about. And I don't want to take my life for granted, because a lot of people are struggling in this world and they would sacrifice anything. They would kill just to get one day in my life. And there's just so much opportunity that life gives you. So why not take it? You know? So how do I take this break? Well, for one, I should probably control my phone usage. So I just put limits. And I know it's a slow process. And I'll get to it later, but I limit to just an hour a day on Instagram, an hour a day on TikTok, an hour a day on YouTube. And even though I hate trackers on devices, because I find it not effective, and I find myself like in a week not using these trackers, like shutting it down and being like, oh, I need to check Instagram, and I shut it down in the end. I still think it's a good control, and it's not only going to be like I'm going to limit my phone usage to just an hour a day in each of these apps through the device control. No, it's also I'm going to actively stop looking at my phone by filling up things in my day to do. What else to do? Read more. This is a very big problem. Probably in this break, I read an average of 3 pages a day. And I want to definitely change that. Like yesterday, I looked at my iPad for maybe 2 hours before I slept. And I decided, okay, finally I'm going to read. Guess how much pages I read? I read maybe like 2 pages. And I went to sleep. That's not good. I'm also going to stop making excuses. Because I have that mindset where everything has to be done with friends. And currently, a lot of my friends are doing, they're working now. And it's a lot different than a med student. Because during this break, like, I can't do much of work unless there's like organization work that comes up, but even then that's only a small portion of my day. But yes, so stop making excuses. What do I mean by that is what's stopping me from going to Quebec and running a 10K or 5K? What's stopping me from that? Or what's stopping me from going to a cafe and just reading my book alone? You don't have to rely on people. If people don't want to read a book with you in a coffee shop for 2 hours, I think that's understandable. Or if they don't want to run a 10K with you in Quebec, I think that's understandable. But that's something for you. And not everyone is going to fit in with your activities that you see as like meaningful, or not everyone has the same goal as you. So, and I think it isn't really discipline, it's kind of being more comfortable being alone. Yes, I'm comfortable being alone, but how much comfort do I have in like going out alone? That's something you need to focus on. I think my exercise is good, arguably enough, but hey, you could always do better. Sure, I exercise almost every day, but like it's only a small portion of my time, like I mentioned. I could go running, then I could go gymming in one day. What's stopping me from doing that? And one of the most important, aside from the phone part, is journal more. I have not journaled in maybe like 3 weeks. um, I need to reflect upon my life, because that's really what makes my life understood, more meaningful. Observing what I've done and reflecting and looking at the good and the bad and appreciating my life. I have not been able to do that, and reflecting gives me an outlet to do just that. Also, making videos, spreading positivity in the best way I can, at the same time, just doing something that isn't passive or comfortable entirely. So it's kind of all these activities, it all boils down to doing what is not entirely comfortable, what is not entirely just looking at your phone, um, doom scrolling. It's doing things that I think will help me grow to become a better person, because I look back at my life and see what made it most meaningful. It is being in situations or doing things that made me grow as a person, whether it be something comfortable, whether it be something sad, whether it be something happy. It's things that make me look back upon my life and think about how good or how brave of a person I am. And that includes doing things alone and doing things that isn't entirely comfortable once again. Sorry for the repetition. That's it for me. Thank you for watching this video. I'll be surprised if anyone really watches this to the end. But thank you very much. This is a personal video mainly for me. Thank you.